Okay, the next project takes us to the Balkans, where I'm from, and to the country of Montenegro. I'd like to welcome Mr. Zoran Jankovic, the ambassador of Montenegro, who's here with us tonight. Thank you for coming. This was an ambitious project, designing a national program for a country to retrofit buildings. And Adam Gordon is going to tell you all about it. Adam.
Hi, everyone. Ambassador. My name is Adam Gordon, and I'm here to present my capstone team's work to design a building energy efficiency retrofit plan for Montenegro. On behalf of my team, I'd like to thank our faculty advisor, George Sarah-Nicolau, for all his support this semester, and the Earth Institute for this opportunity. Behind me, you'll see a typical cityscape in Montenegro, except you won't find it on any official maps. That's because all these buildings were built illegally, without permits. Among the challenges these buildings pose to the country, they waste huge amounts of energy. Tonight, I will present our capstone group's solution to this challenge. I will start by explaining the problem. Then I will review the program that we designed to solve it. And then I will discuss implementation. Montenegro is a small country in the Balkans, located in southeastern Europe. In the past 20 years, the country has had a free-for-all construction boom. A large number of buildings were built without the permission of the government. Today in Montenegro, 1 out of 3 buildings is unpermitted, some 100,000 buildings in all. Because these buildings are unpermitted, their owners are not paying property taxes. And because many of these buildings were built with poor construction, they waste huge amounts of energy. There are many types of unpermitted buildings in Montenegro. Residential buildings have the worst energy efficiency. They tend to lose a lot of heat because they lack insulation. And they tend to let in a lot of cold air because of unsealed openings around windows and doors. The equipment that heats these buildings can also be inefficient or inadequate. So for the building owner, this poor energy performance results in higher energy bills. Montenegrins can spend up to 1 month's salary per year on energy. For Montenegro as a whole, all of this wasted energy means spending money to import fuel and electricity. And because this energy comes from fossil fuels, it means that Montenegro emits more greenhouse gases than it should. Greenhouse gases contribute to climate change. So again, these unpermitted buildings create 2 interconnected problems. First, the government is missing out on revenue from property taxes. And second, both homeowners and the government spend too much on energy. The government is about to fix the first problem. In 2014, it will require building owners of unpermitted buildings to obtain permits and begin paying property taxes. This process will require bringing the buildings up to the minimum safety standards. The government also sees this process as an opportunity to improve energy efficiency. So it has asked us to design a voluntary national building energy retrofit program to retrofit 100,000 buildings over 10 years. The idea is that the building owners will reduce their energy costs at the same time that the government is asking them to pay these permitting fees. Retrofitting is the process of making a building more energy efficient, and it follows a distinct series of steps. First, the building owner has an energy audit conducted. The audit identifies how a building can be made more efficient and how much the work to do so will cost. Because this work is often expensive, next the owner will apply for a loan from the bank. With that loan, the owner then pays for the construction work to make the building more energy efficient. This, in turn, reduces the building energy use and saves the owner money on their utility bills. These savings help to pay off the loan. Our retrofit program aims to do this on a national scale. So we designed the retrofitting program by benchmarking other public programs from Wisconsin to Hungary. And we adapted the best practices that we identified to the political and legal conditions in Montenegro. Our research shows that any successful retrofitting program must do certain basic things well. It must be simple and easy to use for the building owner. It must provide affordable financing. It must be able to persuade people to spend money now based on the promise of savings in the future. And it must be able to deploy contractors who are trained in energy efficiency. These program goals translate to a program with 4 components: program administration, funding, public outreach, and workforce development. Using the information from our benchmarking and the framework of these 4 components, we designed an energy efficiency retrofitting program for Montenegro. Our recommendations are the following. For building owners, the experience will be like going to a single location to take care of everything, either in person at a local office or online through a website. At either location, a building owner will be able to learn about retrofitting, get information about qualified contractors, and apply for financing to pay for the retrofitting work. These local offices and the website will act as a one-stop shop for the building owner. Each one-stop shop will guide the owner through the process. They will conduct an initial review of the application, and they will then send the application to a new central office. There, an application review coordinator will review the proposed retrofit. If it improves energy efficiency by at least 30%, it will be guaranteed financing. Like the permitting process that our program is built into, the retrofitting application is submitted on the local level. However, to increase efficiency and reduce costs, overall program administration will be centralized. The program will work with local banks to administer the loans. For the building owner, the retrofits will pay for themselves. And they need to. For all of this to make sense, the monthly loan payment needs to be less than the energy savings. Building owners will already be required to pay new taxes and fees in the permitting process. And any additional costs will keep people from retrofitting. To ensure that the building owner has no out-of-pocket expenses, the government will need to subsidize the loans. And it will do this through a combination of low interest rates and direct subsidies. The program as a whole will require 32 million euro over 10 years to finance the administration and all loan subsidies. This will be paid for through a portion of the new property taxes and fees collected in the permitting process. We are also recommending an electricity surcharge be applied to all energy bills. Now keep in mind that building owners will be required to permit their buildings, but retrofitting will be optional. So the program must make retrofits affordable, and it must also persuade people that they are worth doing. Our benchmarking suggests that what works best is maintaining consistent messaging through a variety of outreach approaches. It will be important to include messaging about the benefits of retrofitting in the permitting process. In particular, we recommend linking the retrofitting to the program's advertising campaign. Also, we suggest the energy utility company include promotional material in everyone's monthly utility bill. And we propose contractors promote the program. Energy retrofitting requires a trained workforce. Contractors must have the knowledge and skill to reduce building energy use. And building owners must trust that they are getting their money's worth. There are enough contractors in the country to do the work, but the program will have to train them in building energy retrofits. So the program will enlist the support of the University of Montenegro. The university has the expertise and has done similar trainings before. They'll have to develop a curriculum. Then they will need to train and certify around 500 contractors. They will also provide continuing education. To qualify for a retrofit loan, it will be required that the contractor be certified. So, in summary, we have developed a program that will retrofit 100,000 unpermitted buildings in Montenegro over 10 years. The program will do this by creating a simple and easy process for building owners. And they will be informed about the opportunity through an extensive outreach campaign. They will apply for a retrofit loan at a local one-stop shop. And the one-stop shop will connect them with a bank that will provide a low-interest and subsidized loan, and to a certified contractor to conduct the retrofit. After the retrofit, the energy savings will help to pay off the loan. To implement this program, we are recommending that the university launch the training program early next year, and the government of Montenegro hire administrative staff. Later that year, program outreach should begin, and agreements with the banks should be formalized. The program can be ready to kick off in 2015. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll now be taking some questions.
Any questions for Adam Gordon?
Can you find out any totals of how much it would cost to retrofit just one house? And then also, how would the contractors pay for the continuing education?
Thank you for the question. So a pilot was done in the past year. And in that pilot, it was found that about 5,000 euro was required for each home to retrofit it to get it to the appropriate energy efficiency. That energy efficiency is actually quite high. 5,000 euro in Montenegro goes very far. And so they were able to achieve up to 80% energy efficiency reductions. Obviously, that was on the high end. For the contractors, it will cost, it's hard to say exactly how much it will cost, but our estimates based on other programs will be about 2,000 euro, 3,000 euro, and that will be paid for by the contractors themselves. This program will provide guaranteed employment with guaranteed financing. And so there's definitely an incentive for that.
You talked about subsidized loans, and you also mentioned the utility recommendation of the utility surcharge. I imagine the government had some significant issues in raising the capital necessary to subsidize the loans. Is this utility surcharge geared towards that?
Yes, thank you for the question. So these subsidies are the major cost of the program. And in order to finance them, as I mentioned, we'll need to allocate some funds from the payments in the permitting process, but without taking too much of that, it won't be enough. And so that will require an additional source of revenue, source of capital. And we believe that a 0.05% utility charge on every utility bill in Montenegro will be sufficient to more than make up for that. And it will be small enough that it won't make really a difference on the monthly bill for Montenegro. That being said, we would package it as an energy efficiency utility charge. And so beyond the needs of this program, because eventually this program will self-finance, this fee can then be used for other energy efficiency measures.
Okay, time for one more question. Yes.
You mentioned that the banks would give the homeowners loans. Did you do any research or speak with the institutions in Montenegro on their willingness or ability to give out a number of loans?
Yeah. So, thank you. The government already has agreements with a number of banks in Montenegro, and they've already guaranteed through the European Development Bank a low 5% or below 5% interest rate for borrowing the initial funds from that bank. By guaranteeing that low interest rate, by transferring that capital to the banks, it's essentially free money for the banks. The benefit of working with the banks for the country is that they have the expertise in structuring these loans, in collecting these loans. The government is not a bank, so really it's using their expertise on that. And then the government is essentially guaranteeing that financing.
Okay. Nice job, Ben.
Thank you.
Okay, before we close, I'd like to say a few thank yous. First off, to the faculty advisors who worked with each of these teams. So Thomas Abdallah, Brian Carroll, Suzanne DeRoche, and Kizzy Charles Guzman. Please give them a round of applause. Our teaching assistant for this semester was Lisa Howard. Thank you very much, Lisa. Very quickly, I'd like to thank the staff who put these events together, both the midterm briefing and the final briefing. Alison Ledoux, Alyssa Dubov, and Pamela Vreeland. Thanks very much. So at the beginning of the program, I told you that sustainability practitioners solved problems. Tonight's briefings tell me that our students have become sustainability practitioners. And so I'd like to congratulate all of you for that hard work and for reaching this point. Congratulations. And good night.